Here's some footage we shot at Pevensey Castle back in April. Pevensey Castle is a pretty fascinating place. It covers an area of approximately 10 acres, separating the village of Pevensey and Westham in East Sussex. As a military facility, it has a history stretching back around 1700 years to the Roman period, with its last martial use coming in World War II. It was first constructed by the Romans in the late 3rd century as one of the so-called Saxon shore forts. Back then it was known as Anderetum and was the base of the Classis Anderedensis fleet. At the time, it stood on a peninsula above a tidal lagoon that emptied into the sea. The lagoon has long since silted up, and the castle is now about 1 mile inland from Pevensey Bay, separated by the Pevensey marshes. There is some speculation about whether the fort was built to protect against Saxon raiders, or if its construction is related to the period of instability in the late 3rd century, when a series of usurpers came into conflict with the central Roman emperors. It could be one of those local would-be Roman emperors built the fort, or it could have been the forces sent to put them down. After the Roman period, the fort appears to have fallen into disuse until the Norman invasion in 1066, when the existing defences were resurrected by William the Conqueror. From then onwards it was used up to the 16th century when it was abandoned again. During that time it survived several sieges, although it suffered slighting in the 13th century following the First Barons' War. That was the civil war that followed the signing of the original Magna Carta, the famous attempt by the major landowners of England to curtail the power of the monarch. The monarch in question, of course, was King John, who, as anyone who has ever watched Disney's Robin Hood knows, is popularly thought of as one of England's worst ever kings. Whether that's fair or not is another matter. Here's the oubliette. This is the Pevensey gun, the remainder of a pair of cannons that were placed here in the reign of Elizabeth I, prior to the Spanish Armada. It's a rare survivor of this style of gun from the Elizabethan period. Do you want to stay down here?
Huh?
Do you want to stay down here? Or do you want to come up?
Yeah, I don't think I'll take her up there. I'm going to just go down there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay to hold her? I'm going to go down there.
Okay, come on me. Chapel.
Let's go around this way. Let's go around this way. Be really careful.
Okay. Going down under the tower. graffiti. The castle's final flourishing as a military installation came during World War II when the machine gun posts were installed. Perhaps the location puts them a touch above the regular pillboxes which are dotted around the British coastline. Up there we can see the gun emplacement from the Second World War. The keep of a castle always reminds me of the 80s horror movie The Keep, where Nazis run into something nasty in a Romanian castle, although fans of 80s synth music probably know it for Tangerine Dream's cult classic version of Walking in the Air. As with any place that has been inhabited as long and has seen as many traumatic events as Pevensey Castle, it also has more than its fair share of spooky stuff. Obviously it has apparitions of Roman soldiers and ghostly battles, but its most famous ghost is a Grey Lady. I mean, it wouldn't be a proper historic building if it didn't have a Grey Lady. This one is possibly Lady Joan Pelham, the wife of Sir John Pelham, a former constable of the castle. Or possibly it's Joan of Navarre, the former Queen of England, who was Sir John's prisoner for a time. It's intriguing to consider which is more likely, assuming you're open to the idea of ghosts. Was it the wife of the constable, or his prisoner? Does it make a difference that Joan of Navarre was held here on charges of witchcraft? Although these were clearly political confections, she was later released and died many years later in Essex. Everybody's got to die somewhere, I suppose.
Whoa.
Here's the well. And there's still water down there. Pevensey Castle's postern gate is a pretty interesting feature too. Postern gates are concealed entrances that allow people to sneak in and out of a castle, either for communications purposes during a siege or for sneak attacks on those doing the besieging. The footage I took of the rear of the castle gives a better indication of its use.
It's birdie in there. I know. Shh, 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 shh.
Postern gate.
Little bird's nest in there.
Yeah. Oh. Fortunately, this room is closed. Trebuchet stones. Oh, apparently these came out of the moat.
Be really careful on those stairs, babe.
I will do. Right. These are quite steep steps down to the dungeon, and apparently it gets flooded, so
No, Maisie.
let's see how we go. easy.
Got a little nook. Have we got a little nook? Maybe come here.
There we go.
Come there.
Yep. Let's see why it might get flooded. It's very damp in here. I guess the objective is not to get thrown into the dungeon. When I came back up from the dungeon, I had a short chat with one of the staff from English Heritage, who explained to me that the thick green moss on the walls was the product of the modern lighting acting in conjunction with the dank, humid conditions. So this must be the outer curtain wall. We walk that way.
That way?
Yes, we walk over that way and we said you can loop around.
So would have this been like the sort of village, because it's still within walls, but
This is the outer
the
curtain
actual
wall.
castle?
Yeah, I imagine there would have been things here, but I don't know if it would have been a permanent settlement. The 500 metre long curtain walls are reminiscent of another well-preserved Saxon shore fort, Pevensey Castle in Norfolk, which we had the pleasure of visiting back in 2023. I'm always amazed at how well constructed Roman walls are when you consider how they're often standing in exposed places. It puts a lot of modern construction to shame. Castle's on the other side of these bushes.
Gives you a lovely view of it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It was an enjoyable trip, definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. In our next video we'll be at another Sussex castle, the one at Lewes. Thanks for watching.